Hi everyone, it's Mr. Wright here, and it's great to have you for this spelling, punctuation and grammar video. Today we're going to be practicing using subordinating conjunctions. And here I have three words that can be used as subordinating conjunctions, and we're going to use them in that way today. I've already written a simple sentence here to help us practice using these words as conjunctions. So the simple sentence is, I'm allowed a mobile phone. Now I'm sure that's true for most of us. It's even written in the first person as though one of us has said it. So direct speech. So at the moment we have this, I'm going to represent it as a line, a simple sentence. And it's simple because it has one idea in it. The idea of the mobile phone and being allowed it. Now at the moment, that doesn't tell the listener or the reader much information, does it? Certainly doesn't say the time or when you're allowed it. It doesn't tell you the rules you've got to follow to have your mobile. And it doesn't say the reason why you might be allowed it. Now we could add that as a writer. We could choose to write that as a second sentence here. However, we could also choose to use a subordinating conjunction to add it into this sentence. And that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take away that full stop, we're going to remove it, and we're going to add a conjunction, one of our subordinating conjunctions. And by doing so, we're then going to be able to add some extra information. Now this information is going to link or be directly about the thing in the original simple sentence, because this is the main thing in the sentence. It's about being allowed a mobile phone. This is just extra information about it. So let's see how we can do that in this sentence. Let's just take the first one, after. So I'm allowed a mobile phone after. Can you finish the sentence off? You could pause the video. Now I've come up with one. I'm allowed a mobile phone after my work is finished. I think that sounds pretty sensible. So there we are. So this here, with a full stop at the end, because this is now the whole sentence, let's put it in there, is the extra bit of information. So we only get the phone, we're only allowed that once we've finished our work. Very sensible. So this word after, to me, is being used kind of like to give the time or to say what has to happen first for then second to get the phone. So for me, this word after is really helpful if we want to give like a time. So I've drawn a little clock to remind us. Let's try if. I'm allowed a mobile phone if my work is finished. Now the meaning is very, very slightly different. And it's because we've chose if instead of after. Now for me, if kind of allows you as a writer to give the rule attached to this main idea. So we're only allowed, this is the rule, we're only allowed the phone if we've finished our work first. So for me, if's really useful if you want to talk about rules, things you should and shouldn't do, or things that should and shouldn't happen. But again, it's linked to time because you've got to do that first before you get that second. But very good for rule giving. And let's see how because might change the meaning ever so slightly. So this time, I'm allowed a mobile phone because my work is finished. So again, this had to happen first for that to happen. So kind of giving some hint as to time there. But because here is really being used to allow us to say why we are allowed our phone. So in this sentence, for me, it kind of means we've already finished our work and we're explaining to somebody why we're allowed the phone because that work's finished. So for me, because is really useful if you want to say why or give a reason. So what we can see there is these conjunctions are useful because they're allowing us to give more information about this main idea. But what we're also saying is that depending on which one you choose, it can change the meaning of the sentence slightly. Or it can change the type of information you give, whether it be about time thing, about rules, about why. And there's loads of different subordinating conjunctions, out there that we can select to help us decide what extra information we want to give. Now, once this sentence is put together, it's no longer a simple sentence. We grew it, we built onto it. So what we have now would be known more as a complex sentence. Not complex because it's hard, but complex because of its different features. It's got many parts to it. And this simple sentence now could be called the main clause. And that means this is the main idea, the most important thing in this sentence. It's really what the sentence is about, the phone, and being allowed it. And this bit of information can just be called a clause because it's a little bit of writing that is part of the bigger sentence. Of course, when we're using subordinating conjunctions, the clause here is going to link to this or be about the main clause. And that's because subordinating kind of means not the main thing, it's like the second thing or the thing that's not as important, which is what that is. It's the sort of second idea, but it's not as important as this one. And it links together. That's why it's called the main clause, because it's the main, most important thing. Now, conjunction as well, that word for me reminds me of a road junction, and that's where roads join together and meet, and that's how I remember what a conjunction is. It's sort of joining clauses together to make larger sentences. Here's a few examples of how I've carefully chosen each conjunction to help me give the kind of information that I wanted to give about the main clause. So we have number 1, the cat fell asleep after eating her treat. Number 2, the dog was excited when it was time for a walk. Number 3, the hamster was tired because it had been running on the wheel. Number 4, the rabbit can have a carrot if it has eaten all of the lettuce. Number 5, the bird flew away before it was caught by a fox. Well done everyone, we've made it to the end and now it's time for you to practice. I have taken away the clause, the extra information from my sentences. I would like you to have a go at writing some different clauses at the end using the conjunctions that are already there. You could change the conjunctions if you want to make slightly different sentences, or you could write completely different sentences all on your own. Here as well, if you want an extra special challenge or different conjunctions that you could use in the same kind of way, because there are so many words out there that can be used as subordinating conjunctions too. I hope you have fun trying it out and I'll see you again soon.